All right, friend. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. First off, let me start off and say I love you. I appreciate you. And I am grateful for you. Thank you for pushing that play button and tuning in to the next episode here on Onto Purpose Over a Paycheck with your host, Troy, me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That you are continuing with me on this journey, learning about things. And this week's episodes are really probably my most favorite ones because they're tapping into the nervous system. The last episode, just recording that really got me thinking about the goals that I've set. And I know that I have the things that I want to work toward, but I'm manifesting those through the person who I am becoming. You know that a couple weeks ago I always said is you don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are. And so that has been one of my biggest shifts in life here. And that's this whole week working with the nervous system. I'm getting ready to teach a masterclass the 7th and 8th of February on the nervous system. It's called the Nervous System Code. It's the missing link in manifestation, but it entails a lot about our life. So I'll talk a little bit more about it toward the end of the show. All right, today's episode is called Creating Lifelong Term Vision Without Any Pressure. So what we're going to do is we're going to really talk about changing the emotional relationship you have with your future. The reason why we're going to do that is because for many people, the world vision doesn't really feel inspiring at times, right? It feels a little heavy. It feels like expectations, responsibility, and like sometimes that you feels like something you could fail. But that is not what vision is meant to feel like when you're working it with your body, with that nervous system. So when I look at my potential vision, why does it create or trigger anxiety? You've never probably thought about this, but vision will often trigger urgency. Because you're going to have thoughts like, I should be further along, or I need to decide faster, or I can't waste any time, or I don't want to get this wrong. But friend, that is not vision. That is performance pressure projected into the future. Your nervous system hears vision as demand. And when it does, that whole tightening, it starts to tighten instead of open. Now, when we look at a vision is orientation. It's not obligation. This right there is a powerful reframe. Vision is not a contract. It is orientation. It is simply the direction your identity is slowly leaning toward. You are allowed to have a long-term vision without locking yourself into a rigid path. Your future is not something you owe. It is something that you are exploring. And here's why timelines often work against you. Now, don't get me wrong, timelines can be useful, but they can also become weapons against your nervous system. Because when you attract what your worth is to timing, when you attach your worth to timing, your system stops listening to readiness. And it responds to comparison. And vision without pressure must be held without threat. Because the thing is that your nervous system needs direction. It does not need deadlines. Your nervous system does not understand a 5-year plan, friend. It only understands safety cues. It only understands the consistency. It only understands the rhythm. And it only understands the emotional stability. So when you're looking at the long-term vision, what works best is when it's trained. It's trained through how you show up, how you regulate, how you recover, how you choose, not when it demands performance. So if you're thinking, I want to build something meaningful, but I don't want my life to become pressure again, I want you to hear this. You don't have to turn your future into a burden. You are allowed to grow gently. I've had to stop and think about that. I've had to stop and just say, I really have to do from the neck up, a checkup from the neck up. I have to really understand. Because my nervous system, I've become really big on learning so much about the nervous system because it is the missing link in everything that we do in life. No one really talks about it. So what a regulated vision will actually feel like, when you have a regulated vision, it'll feel like this. It'll feel curious instead of anxious. It'll feel anchored instead of frantic. It'll feel directional instead of demanding, and it'll feel open instead of rigid. You feel drawn forward, not chased. So if you ask yourself, where should I be in 5 years? I want you to reframe that question, stop and pause, and ask yourself this. What kind of nervous system do I want to have while I am building my life? Because when you look at that question will protect you from recreating burnout in a new form. And you've got to let your vision evolve with you. Your vision should grow as you grow. It should update as your identity updates. It should become more refined, not more restrictive. Vision is a living relationship. It is not a fixed destination. So, if you say, how do I make sure I'm not failing my future? Reframe that question to this. How do I stay connected to myself while I build it? Because that is how you create a future you can actually live inside. I love this. I hope you're really listening to this, friend, because even though if you're choosing not to leave your paycheck to live your purpose, this information that I'm sharing, this is gold. This applies to everything and anything in your life. It goes down to that one statement I said earlier, and I've said this in several podcasts. You don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are. Your nervous system is the missing link to all of this. And you've got to learn how to regulate it, how to get it in, calibrate it correctly so that way you are safe and secure in everything that you're doing. And if you want to take that next step, I have a masterclass coming up on the 7th and 8th of February, 12 p.m. Eastern time on both of those days. It's only open for 30 people. And I don't want you to miss a spot when you can go in and start changing your life. Friend, when are you going to start investing in yourself? When are you going to take that next step and say, I'm going to do this and I'm doing it for me? When are you going to do that? And that when you should do that is right now. When you're done with this episode, go to my link tree and sign up, get your spots reserved today. I want to see you there because we are going to have the most amazing masterclass. This is it's a live Zoom event, and I want you to be there because it's going to change your life. It's going to change your life. All right, friend. If you haven't already, please leave a rating, a star, 5 stars if you want, your choice, and leave a rating for us. We'd love to have a rating so that we can start pushing through and attracting more listeners out there in the podcast universe. But I want to say that I love you. I appreciate you and I honor you. I respect you and I am so grateful for you. I want you to be the identity that you want. I want you to be that person who is everything we've been talking about in these episodes and in this podcast. I want you to start trusting the process and trusting you, the new you, the 2.0 version. I can't wait for you to take that next step. Just bring me so much joy. It brings me so much joy. All right. Before I leave, your future does not need force. All your future needs is presence. All right, my friend. As I always say, I will talk to you soon.